Container homes have really taken off in the last few years as an alternative building structure. But as much as I love my home, there are some downsides to it that I don't think exist in other traditional building methods. So today I'm going to show you the 5 things I learned to dislike about container homes after living in one for 4 years. So the first thing I learned to dislike is inside. Let me show you. Although it's pretty much hard for you to notice with your eye, there is actually a small bump in the floor right along there and there. Probably the easiest way to notice is to look at how the baseboard was cut to match the bump. I'll throw this level here so you can see. There is a small elevation change. It's only about 1/8 of an inch, but you can definitely feel it if you step on it. Now, if you're wondering what causes this bump, well, let me show you. Basically, if you look inside your typical shipping container, there's a small uneven lip where the wood floor butts up against the steel edge. There's a small elevation difference of about 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch. When you connect 2 containers together and start laying floor tiles down, as you go to cross the gap with the tiles, they have to lay over this uneven portion. Again, it's not that big a deal. You can't even see it, but it is one of those things that kind of sticks in the back of my mind. The next thing I dislike is dealing with tiny spots of rust that form on the metal of the container. Let me show you. I mean, overall, the paint has held great for 4 years, but in a few isolated spots, there's these tiny dots of rust forming. If you look closely, you can kind of see little indentations here on the surface. These indentations are actually just the difference from the original untouched factory paint job that came with the container and where I used an angle grinder to grind away rust spots on the container to clean it up and prep it before painting the home. This is standard procedure, especially when you buy a used container, because as you can see, they often come with a number of rusty marks. So you have to grind off the rust, expose the bare steel underneath, and then paint over. You can see that everywhere else that I did not have to grind, there are no rust spots forming. I think this was just kind of my fault, because once I grind away the rust, I put a single coat of rusty metal primer. Next time, I think I need to maybe put a couple extra coats. During the summer, when it rains a lot here in Florida, rain spills over the edge of the flat roof of the container and falls down the side of the house. The result is a kind of muddy rain mixture that, once the water evaporates, leaves these dirt stains. They're not permanent or anything, and any common cleaning product washes it right away. I like using this 30-second cleaner. It works wonders. But the point is, this seems to be mostly an issue caused by having a flat roof, with no overhang for rain to drip off of. Thankfully, this won't be an issue for me anymore because I'm currently adding a second floor to my home, which will also include a traditional pitched roof on top. I'm actually getting ready for crane day soon, where the containers will actually be lifted up into place, so stay tuned for those videos. If you'd like to get early access to my new videos before anyone else gets to see them, I recently launched memberships here on YouTube so you guys can support my channel and get access to special perks. There's 3 different membership tiers for you to choose from, each with their own special benefits. Just click the join button under this video or click the link in the description below. So one of the things that surprised me when I first moved into the finished container home was the low thumping sound you kind of hear every step you take when walking inside of the house. The cause of this is pretty obvious. Shipping containers have a floor joist style structure. Unlike a slab on grade where the entire floor of the home is laid directly onto concrete, a container is made of a series of metal joists with 1-inch thick wood attached on top. The result is a low thud sound with nearly every step you take. To be fair to container homes, this is also a common occurrence in traditional homes. If you've got a 2-story house, you'll probably hear the same hollow thud sound when walking on the second floor. But I guess having grown up my whole life in a single-story slab-on-grade home, I wasn't expecting it. Anyways, it's not that big a deal, but it did take me some getting used to. The last downside to living in a container home is how hard it is to attach things to the exterior because it's all made of metal. Specifically, I mean under the house. You can see that I've got multiple lines running down here. I've got some lines for my air conditioner as well as my fiber internet cable. The problem is, if you wanted to secure these lines to the underside of the house, the only thing you have to connect to are the steel floor joists of the container, which is what I've done here. It's a bit hard to see because of the spray foam, but right behind this is the 1/8 inch thick metal floor joists. So I had to drill a hole, then looped a zip tie through it, and then secured the cable in the zip tie. If these steel beams were made of wood, I'm sure I could have just used some staple type hangers that are basically effortlessly hammered into place. But instead, I had to pull out my set of metal drill bits, start with the smallest size to make a pilot hole, then gradually increase the bit size until it could make a hole big enough for the zip tie to thread through. The same thing applies with any plumbing under the home. The only way I could connect these suspender straps was screwing it through the steel. Not the end of the world, but definitely something unique to floor joists made of steel. And so that's it for the 5 things I dislike about living in a container home. Overall, though, I really do love living here, and trust me, I wouldn't be adding a second floor if I didn't actually enjoy living in a container home. So, speaking of which, I'm going to be having all 3 containers craned up for the second floor that I'm adding very soon. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to get early access to all new videos I post before anybody else gets to see them, check out the YouTube channel memberships by clicking the join button below or the link in the description. There's 3 different tiers, each has their own perks. So that's it for today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one.